Today, we're diving into what is quite possibly the most recited text on earth. We're talking about the very first chapter of the Quran, Surah Al-Fatiha. And that really is the big question, isn't it? I mean, we're talking about just 7 short verses. How can something so brief be the bedrock of faith for billions of people? Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into. Okay, so first things first, the name itself, Al-Fatiha, means the opening. But, it's not just the opening because it's chapter number 1. It's way deeper than that. Think of it more like the key that unlocks the rest of the entire Quran. And what's really fascinating here is its unique status. See, most chapters of the Quran were revealed bit by bit, over many years, but not Al-Fatiha. Tradition tells us it was revealed all in one go. And on top of that, it's the first full chapter you recite in every single prayer. It's this constant, daily companion for literally billions of people. So this brings us to one of our big questions for today. Why is it right at the start? You might think it's because it was revealed first, but nope. Its placement isn't chronological at all. It's thematic. It's there to set the stage for everything, and I mean everything that comes after it. And to really get why it's at the beginning, you have to look at one of its most powerful names, al-Kitab, which translates to the mother of the book. That name says it all, right? It suggests that the very essence, like the spiritual DNA of the entire Quran, all its big ideas about God, mercy, and guidance, is packed right into these 7 verses. It's like this. Before you get the roadmap, which is the rest of the Quran, Al-Fatiha teaches you how to ask for directions. It does 3 crucial things. First, it gives you a summary of who God is. Second, it defines your relationship with Him. And third, and this is so important, it teaches you how to ask for His guidance. It's like the ultimate prerequisite before you start the journey. Another way to understand just how deep this chapter goes is by looking at all the different names it has. And these aren't just labels. Each name is like opening a new window, giving you a different view of its purpose and what it means in a Muslim's day-to-day life. I mean, look at these. It's called as-salah, the prayer, because, well, it's the heart of the prayer. It's called ash-shifa, the cure, because it's seen as a source of spiritual and even physical healing. And then you have Asas al-Quran, the foundation of the Quran. That just hammers home its role as the absolute bedrock of the whole book. Each name really does show you a different side of it. But there's one name in particular, one name that just perfectly nails why this chapter is repeated by so many people every single day. It gets to the very heart of its role in daily life. And here we are at our second big question. The name is as-Sabi' al-Mathani. It means the 7 oft-repeated verses. And that's not just some poetic description. It's literally what it is. 7. It's all about that number 7 verses. And these 7 verses are repeated over and over and over again. Okay, so here's how it works. Muslims have 5 daily prayers that are mandatory. Each prayer is broken down into units, and in every single one of those units, you recite Al-Fatiha. If you do the math, that's a minimum of 17 times a day, every single day, for every person who prays. It's this incredible, constant, grounding connection. And get this, it's not optional. It's not a nice to have. There's a famous saying from the Prophet Muhammad that basically says your prayer doesn't count if you don't recite Al-Fatiha. It's considered incomplete. That's it. And that right there is why it's almost certainly the most recited piece of text in all of human history. No contest. Okay, so we've covered why it's at the beginning and why it's repeated so often. But what about the prayer itself? What makes these 7 verses so powerful? Well, it all comes down to the structure. It's not just a person talking at God. Theologians explain it as a perfect conversation, a dialogue between you and God. Check this out. The chapter is split right down the middle. The first half is all about praise. It's where you, the worshiper, talk about God's greatness, His mercy, His power. You're acknowledging who He is. Then, halfway through, the tone completely shifts. It becomes your turn to ask. It becomes a direct, personal plea for guidance. And the verse that acts as the bridge between these 2 halves is, "It is you we worship and you we ask for help." It's incredible. There's a sacred narration, a hadith Qudsi, where God Himself explains this. He says, He split the prayer between Himself and His servant. And when the servant gets to their part and asks for guidance, God's response is a promise. This is for my servant, and my servant will have what they've asked for. So, when you boil it all down, what's the big takeaway here? After all this, what's the one thing to remember about this short but unbelievably powerful chapter? It's this: Al-Fatiha is the key. It's the key to unlocking everything else in the Quran. The famous scholar Ibn Kathir put it so well. He explained that it does two things at once. On one hand, it's about praising and glorifying God. But on the other, it's also this perfect lesson. It teaches you how to even approach God in the first place, how to ask, and what you should be asking for. So no, Al-Fatiha is not just an introduction. It's so much more. It's the whole Quran in miniature. It's the summary of the entire faith. It's the foundation of all worship. And it is the most essential prayer for that one thing we're all looking for: guidance. And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. A pretty powerful question, actually. If Al-Fatiha is the perfect prayer, the perfect request for guidance, then what's the answer? The answer is the entire rest of the Quran.